Hello friends, today we are talking about project time management. Time is such a resource which always goes away, even if we utilize it or we don't. This is something which cannot be preserved, and that is why the time management is a very essential topic for managing projects. Lot of time, like whenever you see a conflict in your project, you will realize that majority of the conflicts, there have been various studies about the source of the conflicts, and it has been found that schedule or the priorities related to time is a primary source of conflict in projects. Now, what this knowledge area does, it talks about how do we manage time, and it gives us an output which is called project schedule. So project time management, the complete knowledge area surrounds around project schedule. So let's look at the project schedule. Project schedule can be represented in various ways. We can represent the project schedule in the form of Gantt chart, where we show the activities in bars, and we can also demonstrate the milestones using diamonds, and this is one of the possible representation of our project schedule. Now, what they do, how do we prepare it, we will get into the details in subsequent lessons. The project schedule can also be represented in the form of network diagram or a schedule network diagram, where we write the activities and we depict their relationship with each other, and then we show that how things are going to finish. The schedule for a very simplified projects can also be presented in the form of just a list of activities. We can write these are the activities and these are their attributes. So list of activities, list of attributes, list of milestones can also represent the project schedule. Now this knowledge area helps us in creating this and maintaining this and controlling this. A lot of time when people are new, people or the organizations are new for the project management, they think that schedule management is equivalent to project management, which is wrong. But that also demonstrates the importance of time management, because even the people who are very beginner or who are just thinking about managing things know that time has to be managed well, because in your stakeholders, everybody understand the language of time. Everybody wants to know when this thing is getting delivered, when you are getting a particular delivery, when you are launching your project, or when you are launching your product, when the people should be released, or when they can expect that things happening in a given calendar time. So that's why this schedule provides all those answers. It provides the answer of when. And this is something which is understood by all the stakeholders. Since this schedule tells us that how the resources will get deployed during the project life cycle, it also gives an essential input to a cost estimate. It helps us in knowing how much it is going to cost, because this tells us how things will get distributed, how the resourcing will get distributed across the project time frame. The schedule gives us an important performance reporting input. Now, since everybody wants to know about progress against time, the schedule helps us in reporting or controlling the progress against time. Now, these are the essential information in any project management organization where the stakeholders are interested in. Now, how do we create this schedule? In order to create this schedule, we need to use a scheduling method. So there are various types of scheduling methods. For example, critical path method, critical chain method. From PMP exam point of view, critical path method is the most frequently asked and talked about method. But yeah, critical chain is also one of the method which is discussed in PMBOK. So first we need to use a scheduling method. Now, what do we do with this method? We should use some tool where we can input these information into a software or in some tool. The tool could be a very simple tool which is based on spreadsheet, or it could be a sophisticated tool which helps us in managing the schedule and maintaining it. So we need to have a scheduling tool. Now, can we get the schedule just by using the method and tool? They provide the base work, they provide the tools and technique, but we need to know our project information, because only when we feed our project information into it, then only we can get this particular schedule. So we feed our project information into it, and the mixture of a project information, scheduling method and scheduling tool is called schedule model. So this is a schedule model, and the instance of that schedule model represent a particular schedule. Now, what is this model and what is this schedule? You can think model as a base data. Now, in order to prepare that model, you need to put the project information into it. What could be the project information? You need to put information related to activities, what all activities need to be performed, scope, cost, constraints like there are some predefined deliverables which has to happen, they are time bound, or constraint could be coming because of the weather conditions, like these are the things which you cannot do in summer, these are the things which you cannot do in the winter. So all those inputs also needed to create a schedule. There could be more, like work breakdown structure may be needed, sequencing of activity may be needed. So various project information which we will discuss in this complete knowledge area get fed into a scheduling tool, and we use a particular method, for example critical path method, and we use method, tool and feed this information into it, and it gives us schedule model. It gives us a base data, and out of that base data we create instance of it. We create, okay, this is a particular schedule which we are baselining. This is a particular schedule which we are modifying after 10 days, 15 days, after a month, or after a 6 month. So the schedule model gives us an instance, and this is a schedule which we use for our monitoring, controlling and day-to-day communication into a schedule. Now, if you don't have it, you won't be knowing when you are delivering things. You won't be knowing when do you need a required resource. You won't be knowing when should you order your procurement thing in order to achieve the project timelines. For example, you need a brochure to launch your product, and the brochure lead time is 1 month. So if you don't know that there is a lead time and these are the required input for the brochure, and I need this before I launch the product, you won't be able to do, or you won't be able to manage things. This schedule helps you to input all those informations and give you a trigger that this is the right time to order a brochure, because this activity should finish today, else you won't be able to get it after 1 month. Now, ordering a brochure or a thinking of providing those input looks good. Like I may just order it today and expect it will be available after 1 month. But in practice, things will keep changing. And it is always said that any good plan, any plan does not survive a contact with enemy. So once you make a plan, it is good to start, but as you get into the battle, it has to be changed. So this plan is, you should not assume that this is something which we will make only once. No, we will keep updating it. We will keep revising it, or we will keep replanning it. So how to make it? The making of this plan in our PMBOK or a PMP language, the PMBOK consists of processes. So we do things as a collection of processes. Now, if you are doing a very simple project, you may think that all these processes happens in a one go. But for an exam, to understand the complete PMBOK framework, you should visualize a complex project where good amount of people are involved and things are distributed. Everybody is not sitting in a one room and doing things. So what are the processes? How do we prepare this thing? as usual, we start everything with planning. So first process which comes under project time management is plan schedule. So we do a plan schedule management. Here we create a plan, here we create a document which tells us how are we going to control, manage or prepare this particular thing. The project time management knowledge area has processes in two categories or in two process groups. One is planning and other is monitoring and control. We don't have any process in execution. We just plan it, and as I said before, you should not assume plan is a one-time activity. We should keep replanning it, and then we monitor and control. So we have processes in two process groups. So first we identify how are we going to do all this, how are we going to do all this, how are we going to manage this particular plan, how are we going to prepare this particular schedule. The second thing which we do after making a plan is identify activities. Now here we make a list of things which we want to do in a project. Now project will have good amount of activities. First we need to identify it. First we need to identify that yes, we need a brochure, and in order to get the brochure we need to order it. In order to give an order we need all those inputs. So those all inputs need to be prepared. So first thing, before we visualize how and when we are going to do it, we need to know what are the work we have to do in order to get the deliverable. So the first process of making schedule, once you make a plan that how are you going to do it, then when you start doing it, you first need to make a list of activities. So this is the first process which gives us a list of activities. In sequence wise, it's the second process of project time management, because first we make a plan that how are you going to identify those activities, at what level we need to identify those activities. Those all things are mentioned in a project schedule management plan. After that, we identify activities. Now, the output of identify activity is a good amount of list. So we know we have to do this. We need to order the brochure, we need to get it printed, we need to give all those information. Now, second thing we need to do is sequence them, because without sequencing, we don't know the dependencies. We cannot depict the dependencies, and we cannot identify which things we should do first and which thing we should do at a later stage. So there is a process for it called sequence activities. In a sequence activity, we identify the dependencies and we tell that how things are going to be done. So this is another process of project time management, where we say that we sequence the activities. Now, we have done the sequencing. What to do next? We need to identify who is needed. What all resources do we need in order to do this particular project? So we do a resource estimate. So activity resource estimate, where we identify people, we identify material which is needed for these activities. So the third process, or a fourth process if you talk about project time management sequence, is a process which gives us a resource need. We tell that okay, in order to create a brochure, I need a designer. So this identification of a designer happens in this particular process. So here we do a resource estimation. Now what do we have? We have a plan till now. We know how do we have to do things. We have a list of activities. We have sequenced them, and then we have estimated the resources, what all people we would be needing, or what all machines, resources we would be needing in order to perform those activities. What next? How much duration these activities will take. So we need to estimate the time or a duration. So the fifth process of a project time management is estimate activity duration. So we need to estimate the duration of the activities which are identified here, sequenced here, and we identified who would be going to do it or what kind of skills needed. because till the time we know the resource estimate, we won't be able to do a duration estimate. Now, by this we know that brochure will take 10 days and it will be done by the designer, and and it's critical for launch. So these three information are there. Now till now these all processes will give us this information. Now from which date these 10 days are starting? Are they starting on 1st January or are they starting on 1st August? This information is still not available with us. This information comes from the another process, the 6th process of project time management, which gives us develop schedule. In a develop schedule, we put calendar into account. So this is a schedule, the process which gives us calendar time. It talks about, okay, this would be the particular date when this particular activity has to be started. This is the process of, once we are done with this process, it tells us that who is needed for how much duration, when the person when the designer is expected to join the project, and when the designer is expected to leave the project. Since we added the calendar dimension in our schedule, till here we were only talking about list of the activities, their sequence, their estimate duration, their estimate people, but here we added the calendar into it, and this gives us a schedule which is time bound. Here we know dates are getting attached with this particular schedule. So this schedule is prepared by all these 6 processes. Now project plan schedule management or a schedule plan, this is something which governs the complete knowledge area, but yeah, the remaining 5 processes plays a critical role to give the required data, and we get this particular schedule. What to do next? There is another schedule, there is another process which helps us in controlling it. So we need to control. This process is a control process which is it helps us in checking the variances. Are we doing as per our plan? If we are not doing, what kind of corrective and preventive actions we need to take? This controlling process has a role where he combines the plan and execution. So controlling process takes input from the real execution, and it also takes an input from a project management plan, which is again having a project schedule management plan and all these details inside it. So it takes these 2 inputs and tells us where the variances are going beyond control and what all we should be focusing on in order to bring our project back on track. So the project time management in PMBOK 5 consists of 7 processes. 6 processes are falling into a planning group, and the 1 process is in a monitoring and control group. The time management is all about managing the schedule, and this is a knowledge area which frequently get asked in exam as well, because it generates a good amount of numerical questions where we need to make the critical path or identify the critical path and do a various lead lag analysis to it. In a subsequent lessons, we will get in detail of all these processes.